Hi, this is Steering Wheel Holder coming back at you guys again with another video. Alright, I'm going to talk about this perception that big companies do not own trucks outright. Okay. I'm going to name some companies that have truck and trailer sales sister companies that are part of it. Alright, Knight Transportation, they have a Knight truck and trailer sales division, a separate legal entity from Knight Transportation. Prime Inc. has a same thing, truck and trailer deal. CR England has one. Snyder has one. I think Martin has a division like that, and the list can go on that have these type of divisions. I think Western Express also has that too. Alright, so on paper they do not own the truck, Knight Transportation or Prime Inc. or the other companies I've named. What they do is they pay payments, lease payments to their sister company. They hold the note, so they can have a tax write-off and more deductions for the trucking side. Now, to make up the difference for them doing that, the truck and trailer leasing company buy more equipment to basically funnel that money out where they don't have to pay taxes either. So basically, after they take care of the building they have, or buildings, because some of these companies have divisions in certain areas at their terminals. Like I think Snyder has several places you can buy these trucks. So after they take that cost out and some of their employees, basically they could have a repair shop there. So if they pay their mechanics and stuff like that, after all that cost, they start spending the money like crazy to buy more equipment, new equipment, to replace the older equipment, and then they sell the older equipment and they funnel that money to buy more equipment. So they do that for a tax purpose. No, these big companies own their trucks. It's just on paper they don't. Really, they do, but they set up a separate legal entity from them so they can have that. They can basically pay themselves to have a tax write-off, then take that money, funnel it into buying more equipment. Then their truck and trailer leasing company leases it back to them. So, hope I'm explaining that right. I do the same thing. I got taught by an old man who's dead now. His son still runs it. He owned about 10 trucks, running rock and asphalt and some sand in the Midwest. He does the same thing, and you can do the same thing with a small company. Let's say you have 5 trucks. Well, you can set up another a company, a separate legal entity with another address, new LLC, whatever. You can make it a dealership if you want. I think you'll have to look into it. States are different, so you can actually have a dealership. Then you can lease. Let's say R&R leasing to ABC Trucking, and you both own it, but it's a separate legal entity. And then you could do the same thing those big companies do. Show a payment. Let's say you own the equipment, right? You have R&R leasing, buy the trucks and trailers outright. Then you'll take the title. Then you do a lease purchase with ABC Trucking that you own, pay payments to R&R Leasing, and then You'll have a tax deduction on your trucking side. Then your R&R leasing, they'll go in return, buy more equipment and trucks to basically lease back to you. So that's just one way to do it. Also, Brother Man Trucking YouTube channel, I watched a video about how, you know, he's talking about the market's low in the spot market, and he feels the economy is starting to take a turn in the wrong direction, which I agree. I think Trump's going to bankrupt the country. I think we're going to have another stock market crash like back in 2008 that George W. Bush did. And we all know how that went. It 2009 and 10, some 2011 was soft, and it started to pick back up. But that's the reason why on this channel I talk about ownership or having a payment that's really low. You know, not all operations are the same. You know, you could run a team and have a low payment, and that's key, having low payment or having no payment at all. Because, you know, being a small guy that's leased onto a carrier, or having your own authority where you're just, you know, bare ass with having your own authority. You know, when having that, you know, you need to have your overhead low as possible. I'm not saying go get a piece of shit truck that's a 1997 and it's just on its last leg. I'm not saying that. You know, just knowing if you buy a $10,000 to $20,000 truck, you're going to have to put money into it. You know, you're going to have a rebuild engine that can cost upwards to $20,000. You know, rebuild transmission, that could be $10,000, $12,000. You know, it all varies, you know. And, you know, you just want to keep your overhead costs low as possible, your fixed costs low. And, you know, you want to try to get the most fuel economy out of your truck as possible. You know, and if you're running a fleet, you know, I know there's a debate about governing trucks. You know, if you can't get your drivers to, you know, lighten it up on that right foot, then you're going to have to step in. And, you know, it's your money, your fuel. You got to do what you got to do. But to get back what he was talking about, you know, it is kind of tightening up. You know, big box stores are closing down and they're getting smaller. Like Walmart, you're seeing a lot of the supercenters kind of going away. They've stopped building them. They're replacing them with those little green Walmarts. You know, kind of shorten it down. This whole thing with Amazon, they're kind of, that whole type of old school bullshit's coming back, where the milkman, you know, the milkman, you know, they're kind of, you know, testing the waters on delivering food, you know, or somebody shops for you at Walmart and you pick up your groceries at a pickup. So they're getting smaller. That means less stuff, but you know, also too, people are not making enough money. Spending power is down. You know, that whole type of inequality is kind of picking up. People can't afford to sit there and spend all their money. You know, eventually this whole credit, you know, running on credit is just going to go out. And the bubble's going to burst, and then who the fuck is going to buy all these cars? You know, it's just going to get back to old type of living. But you know, I think, you know, E-logs, I have my opinion on that. It's, it's kind of invasive on your privacy and all, but, you're going to have to kind of change with it. But I think when everybody gets on e-logs, it's going to tighten capacity. Everybody's going to be set on that 14 fucking hours, and they're going to have to do a 34 shutdown if they're solo. And it's going to put pressure on the market where rates will have to go up. And, the whole thing, we're, the broker tells you, well, the shipper, they don't want to pay detention pay, blah, 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 blah. That whole shit's going to run out because people are going to get, hopefully people will just get so staunchy that they just stop doing business with them. But, if you got these guys running around, I'll take it, I'll suck you clean for $1, I'll take it for $1. If you keep on having those guys running around, then I guess not. But as a whole, I think the industry, it's going to tighten up really bad when everybody's stuck on that clock. And then, the whole enforcement thing where they really haven't clarified about, because there's so many people now in the e-log business. You got Verizon, AT&T, all these companies just sucking in like a bunch of fucking vultures, to get their cut of the trucking industry. There really doesn't have a rule about, how the device should track itself and so forth. There's cell phone apps and shit like that. I would say anything that hooks up to the EMC, the truck itself, I think that would be the way to go, like the Rand McNally with the GPS, and just have that with the logging system. I would, I use that. I would advise that other people to check it out. But, it's just one of those things. You try to keep your costs down as much as possible. Do little tricks like that. If you own your own equipment, you pay cash for it. You want to show the deductions, do that. Start a separate legal entity of a new company, a truck and trailer releasing company, and lease it basically to yourself. And you could lease out to others if you wanted to. You could do a lease purchase with other people that want to do leasing. So that's just one thing to kind of show people that these big companies do it, smaller companies can, and try to keep your costs down as possible, and know your numbers. I think he talked about that in some videos. McDonald's knows how much their food costs on every meal that's on the board, every drink all the way down to the ketchup packet, the lights, the water. They know what it costs to run a McDonald's restaurant. So you got to know you got to do the same exact thing. You got to know how much fuel you're burning. And this goes by weekly because it always changes. Maintenance, have a maintenance fund. We all see what happened to the little guy trucker. Have a tire account. Those things like that. Have a rainy day fund, whatever. And know your costs right down to the penny. So basically, put you in a position to turn down loads, and short hauls. You got to price yourself differently on that. $1,000 load will pay different than a 200-mile load. So, and also, if you want to keep on doing business with these certain brokers, find out how that particular shipper and receiver that you're going to, and see if he's always doing business with these people. count how long it's going to take you at the dock, and also at the other place to unload at the receiver. And then you might want to look into, if it's so good of a rate, you might want to look to continue to do business with this broker. And also, when you have your own authority, do 50 to 100 calls a day to get a direct customer. You might have to start out on the load board, but you just want to work your ass off to get off that load board as much as possible. Let's say you get a customer with 150 miles of your base. Use the broker for a backhaul or a tri-haul, and that's all I have to say about that. That's what you got to do. So